Here's the other attack that was so disingenuous and so deceitful. It was to the point of disgusting. And we're just going to go over in overtime because it's just been a strange night. It was so disgusting. This is their attack. They attack him on his strengths. Bernie Sanders has been consistent in his integrity. He's been consistent on civil rights. He's been consistent on gay rights, LGBTQ rights. He's been consistent on not taking money from Wall Street. He's been consistent, and that's where they are attacking him on, to the extent that there's no links that they're not willing to go, right? There's nothing that they won't do, surprisingly enough. And so the other thing that they attacked him on this weekend was, I've seen a bevy of articles about Bernie Sanders not really being supportive of marriage equality. And the best they can do on this is to say, as soon as he said he was. All right. So let's just take a look at this little meme that I had to bust somebody on this weekend. Fact checking Bernie is what they call it. The lie. I've supported LGBT equality for 40 years. And Bernie Sanders said that in 2016. The truth is that he did not. This is according to them, he did not support same-sex marriage. Marriage should be viewed as a lifelong commitment between a husband and wife. Bernie Sanders, 1982. So from this, I want you to look at this. From this quote in 1982, they have written articles. They have gone on the internet shows. They've made posts about it, essentially saying that Bernie Sanders doesn't support marriage equality because of a resolution that he signed in 1982. Now, if you have a modicum of common sense, you would say 1982 sounds like a really strange time for him to be making a statement against marriage equality. Can anybody in the class tell me why that's such a strange time for him to be making a statement against marriage equality? Well, probably because in 1982, we weren't having a national conversation about marriage equality. We were simply having a conversation about LGBTQ and gay people having the right to just be open, just to be publicly gay or bisexual or lesbian or transgendered. Still having that last conversation today. It's still a conversation, right? In 1982, there was no big national conversation about gay marriage. Gay marriage didn't really hit the radar until late in Bill Clinton's term, when Bill Clinton enacted the Defense of Marriage Act, against which Bernie Sanders voted. So I'm like, what happened in 1982? So I went and this is the thing, right? With conservatives, you usually could debunk conservatism by clicking through one link. Remember, have you ever done that? Just click through one link and you can debunk conservatism. Well, now I'm debunking so-called progressives with one click through. Here's a resolution relating to the declaration that we believe in marriage week, signed in 1982. Whereas the basic building block of the American society has always been the family. And whereas the family has been the keeper of society's values, and whereas marriage should be viewed as a lifelong commitment between husband and wife, filled with mutual respect and open, honest communications, and whereas it is our hope that this institution of marriage may once again be revered and the cornerstone in the American society and its way of life. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen that the week of February freaking 14th through the 22nd. I'm done. February 14th. So the city of Burlington in 1982 looks at the landscape of America and sees that marriage in general is a problem because divorce rates are starting to skyrocket right about that time. And so they decide, as the Council of Aldermen, along with their mayor, Bernie Sanders, they decide that we want to make a Valentine's Week resolution that there's going to be a commitment to open and honest communication and marriage between the husband and the wife. They take that third clause Let me pull the third clause back up so you can be sure you see what they've done. Whereas it is our hope that the institution of marriage may once again be revered as a cornerstone of the American society, blah, 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 blah. That's the wrong one. Let me go above it. The second clause, whereas marriage should be viewed as a lifelong commitment between husband and wife, filled with mutual respect and open, honest communication. You tell me who in 1982 was trying to have a national conversation about marriage equality, such that if someone says marriage is between husband and wife, it is actually an attack on a movement. Let me unpack that a little more just so that you're clear. They are trying to imbue the 2016 connotation of a politician saying marriage is between a man and a woman. In 2016, that is a loaded statement from a politician that is a political statement against marriage equality. And so they are trying to go in their time machine and go back into Hill Valley, 1982, and say Bernie Sanders knew in 1982 that by saying marriage is between a man and a woman, that he is speaking out against marriage equality in language that is only represented in 2016. But because in 1982, Bernie Sanders, during Valentine's Day week, reaffirms the commitment and the value of marriage between a husband and a wife for open and honest communication, somehow he is anti-marriage equality. I try not to use ad hominems, but this is just dumb. As this is DAF. This would be like me going back anywhere in Hillary Clinton's history and finding a speech of her, let's say 1994 and back, finding a speech of Hillary Clinton saying all lives matter and pointing to it in 2016 and saying Hillary Clinton doesn't think Black lives matter because in 1984 she said all lives matter. This is the absurdity with which Hillary Clinton and her minions are unleashing their cantankerous hell on Bernie Sanders, all because Bernie Sanders is beating them in New Hampshire. And this passes for a valid argument for these people. Yeah, I'm going to put this human being on blast. She's the one who shared it. I'm not going to leave it up there long. This is the Obama. Hang on. I'm trying to get to another one. What am I trying to get to here? But this is what they spread, right? They spread it. And once you call them on it, that's not what I'm looking for. Once you call them on it, they all of a sudden get, they block you. They only have one way of getting an advantage on Senator Sanders, and that is if they malign his character. Listen to what's being said underneath that. Hillary Clinton does not have one advantage over Bernie Sanders unless she maligns his character. The subtext underneath that is Bernie Sanders' character is so strong that Hillary Clinton can't compete. Call it.